Welcome to the Baxter Effect Podcast, your host, John Baxter. Today, we have a new and exciting challenge for everyone. And that challenge is to find your purpose in this podcast, this next show. And before we get going, I'd like to ask everyone if you are into health, advanced health technologies, and you want to make an impact or a difference, contact us at antiagingbed.com. Your likes, your shares, your comments, your subscriptions mean a lot to everyone, to help everyone get this information out there. And I find today's podcast might just be it. So without any further ado, we're going to dive deep into this subject. The subject is the death of purpose. Now, we're going to unpack and unload a lot of information today, but you ask yourself, what is purpose? It's the opposite of depression. And you look at how this world's turned out, one of the biggest things that we see, and this is after helping tens and tens of thousands of people, that the biggest disease in the world isn't cancer. What if I said the biggest disease in the world is not heart disease or even diabetes? What if the biggest disease in the world is meaninglessness? No purpose. Now, it may be true that cancer, heart disease, and diabetes, they may be the biggest diseases in the world. But if you get down to the nuts and bolts of it, the biggest disease in the world is meaninglessness. The other side of depression. The same thing as depression causes a cascade effect that in this current mode, this current gear, our society is stuck in. We're living the greatest lie on earth. We were told from the very get-go. Now, if you think back to our schooling and our education, you may have a great school that you went to. You may have not. Maybe you went to a public school, maybe you went to a private school, but all we were told was the most important thing that you needed to do was get a degree, get a job, buy a house, save money, and then retire. Then, and only then, will you be happy. And yet, what we find is, in the real world, there's millions and millions of people that did just that. They got into more debt. They didn't use their degree. They were forced in a situation where they may have not selected the proper mode of education towards what they really wanted to do. And that's where some of this comes from, but so many people are miserable. You know, we confuse ourselves with success and purpose. Success and purpose are not the same thing. So we were told, like, if we do this school, that we would achieve success, and then we would find our purpose, and neither one is the same thing. Your success and your purpose are really, they could be two different things. But do they ever come into alignment? Do they ever come in alignment? If you think about it, this is just a great quote. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. And that's a Friedrich Nietzsche quote. So, it's not about, the how. It's the why, and that is the purpose. So, catch my drift here. And we find ourselves in the human condition for even thousands of years, where humans woke up knowing why they existed. Well, of course, they were either protecting their community, protecting their family, maybe to feed their family, to raise kids, to contribute to society, and too many. And we see this too many times in the current model. People reach for their phone for that purpose, which is not going to be a purpose. They reach for the phone as soon as they wake up, and as soon as they go to sleep, they put their phone down. So their phone is not giving them purpose. Their phone is not giving them a mission. It's just a phone. So how can you find your purpose from gravitating to your phone? Your phone is not your purpose. And that's why so many people in this day and age, they feel lost. People feel more consumed, that they are more consumed than even in what they create in their daily lives. You know, I've been an advocate telling people from the time I was teaching people Tai Chi after I had my great experience, that one of the ultimate goals for you as a human is to create. One of our highest purposes is to create. And when we stop creating, things get off balance. You know, we're seeing people use their phone more than they create now. We see, and then we see people utilizing social media. Everyone wants to be a social media star. They post aimlessly. They create very hard to create content for admiration among their peers. But are they doing it from a place of purpose or to create? That remains to be seen. But the human spirit, when you really think about it, it was designed to grow. This strong human spirit was always here to contribute, to grow, to challenge yourself, the status quo, others, and to be of service. And that human spirit is reaching your God-given human potential. Now, what we always see is that we don't see that we would like to see is that we would love to people to witness that the meaning of life is to find your specific gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. So, and I have witnessed this. To find your gift is to find meaning, but the purpose is to give it away. And with the health technology, it made me find the purpose of why I chose not to get the surgery when I broke my neck. My purpose to give away was to create hundreds of technologies, and still to this day, thousands upon thousands of people have we given our technology away for free. We've given away over $5 million in free services and products over the last couple of years. And we did that because I did find my mission and purpose. There's no amount of money that could stop me. There's no amount of money that would per se make me satisfied by doing life work that I was missioned and purposed to do on this earth. And that mission and purpose turns into some serious passion. And when you have a purpose, you have less stress, you recover better, your longevity and even your hormones and your homeostasis within the body, it all improves when you find your mission, your purpose, and your passion. And people with purpose, you see them living longer. You see them, they recover, they get a good night's sleep. They have lower stress. And purpose is very much biological. And when you see and you hear of these things, you know, we always focus today on this positive aspect, but realize there's a huge cost when everyday people don't have any meaning. when people don't find their purpose, and I feel like that's part of the agenda to confuse people and have them confused, is that when people lose their purpose, what do? This is a known fact. Their addictions rise. Their anxiety rises. Their depression rises. The distractions rise when you don't have a purpose. So ask yourself, to change our community, to change the U.S., to change the global outlook, we have been at the level of people have been profiting off of our fear. People have been profiting off our anxiety, and no one wants their little voice to be heard. The truth of their soul, the truth of why they're here. And if we could just cut out these negative issues by allowing people to find their meaning in their life, that we would find that nothing fills this void like having a mission. And the mission isn't just, here with products, or we never started this company to create a product or a business. We created this as a solution. I'm living proof that I created this product and all this stuff, not only for my mission and purpose, but for a solution. And I can say that because the mission is helping people suffer less and contribute more, which brings, of course, more meaning to your life and others. And when people find themselves in addiction, in depression, guess what? In pain, guess what? The most rewarding work you can do when people recover is those people feel that they can create, they can serve their family and their community better. They become inspired, and they, guess what? Inspire others. This is the missing link. The stuff we talk about on this podcast is honestly the missing link to what society would per se promise but never deliver upon. That's why this podcast is so important. As your host, we thank our sponsors, Anti-Aging Bed. We have developed the longevity circuit, and furthermore, our MedBed system and ecosystem. One machine with 10 technologies and a wellness center with over 10 technologies. However you want the pie to be cut, we've created it. We were so far ahead and so blessed that from our grounding technology, which serves the first engine, we have over 10 engines in our longevity circuit. Engine 1 being sleep and grounding. We have many different grounding products and many different ways to sleep. If you can get your sleep figured out, the missing pillar to your health, you could start down engine 2. And so there are many engines, but engine 2, eating properly, putting the proper supplements, nutrition in your body, along with grounding to reduce free radical damage, inflammation, and to simply start sleeping better. So ask yourself this: what is purpose? Now, this was a very tough question to answer, because honestly, purpose is not one thing. Purpose can be many things. You may see your purpose as raising kids. You may see your purpose as building a business. You may see your purpose as helping people. You may see your purpose as creating art, creating something. And you may see your purpose as solving problems. And so I can tell you honestly, my purpose is a mixture of all these. But more so, my purpose is to help end human suffering. And that purpose ties in everything. We're all on the same planet. We're all going through the same difficulties. Whether you're 5 years old or you're 100 years old, eventually you're going to have to deal with your health. And so that is the pain to purpose that I have been talking about for many years. And the common denominator through all this, the reason why people are guided towards this is because it makes you matter to something much bigger than yourself. The meaningfulness, not meaninglessness, meaningfulness. Every action, everything you do is impacted. Everything that you want to do in a good intention can be achieved. Changing the world is much bigger than just one country. Changing the world is something much bigger than yourself. Could you pick some of the most insane, unbelievable, impossible things to do while you're on this planet? Well, you should dream big. You should pick big. You should listen to that little voice, your intuition. You should pull away from the indoctrination of just staying comfortable. Staying comfortable is hiding you from the things that you want. Staying comfortable is the reason why there's so many mental issues. Staying comfortable is like being stuck. Staying comfortable is not going to get you anywhere except comfort and extended comfort, what you perceive, but that comfort is painful. So, when you do something bigger for yourself, you realize every movement, every moment, everything you do is reflective upon, hey, I'm on this earth for a reason. I'm a chosen one. God has chosen me to do something important for humanity. God has chosen me to be a piece of the pie in this specific arena. Not so much just a job, but something purposeful to you. The future as we perceive it is going to be something that belongs to people who maintain purpose while all other people are distracted. I'm giving you this image and this vision. I'm giving you this so that you can be a salmon swimming upstream. When everyone is distracted, looking down at their phone, and complaining about how miserable life is, complaining about everything, my goal is to tell you that you have a mission and purpose much bigger than yourself waiting for you. And likely, this mission and purpose isn't going to show itself like, pick me, pick me. You're not going to pick it, but you are going to be the one that picks it. But it's going to come to you. And whether you take that or not, you'll realize over and over again, even if you don't pick it, you will quickly realize when you look back in your short or long life, what it was that you were supposed to do while you were here. And if you are blessed enough, lucky enough to see the breadcrumbs, it's going to come back time and time again, awaiting you to select your mission and purpose and your passion. It could be something that has nothing to do with the business or making money. And that makes it even more real. And that's what happened to me. Well, when you ask yourself, and this is Proverbs 29:18, when there is no vision, the people will perish. So what I'm trying to do is inspire you to be a visionary for the future you want to see. Not what the puppet masters for society want, what you truly want. Would you die for it? If you had a vision and purpose, would you lay it all on the line? Would you go, pick your purpose, and the first thing that happens is you drop a plate and it breaks, and you stop and you distract yourself and you lose all insight, lose all vision. So this is not for the weak. You were designed for growth through pleasure and pain. You were designed to grow more through pain, of course. But you have to have wins and losses. Failure is just a state of mind. It's not real. There's no such thing as failure. So we come to the conclusion here that maybe people don't need more social media or entertainment, football games, basketball games, checkers, chess, but they do need a mission. Because what I was saying, the opposite of depression is not happiness. The opposite of depression is purpose. Purpose changes everything. And for today's episode of the Baxter Effect Podcast, purpose is the future. It is the goal. Finding your mission and purpose sets the tone for the rest of your life. The younger you are when you find your purpose, the better off you are, not only for yourself and others, but for our society at large. So hats off to you. Hats off to everyone out there, especially those that are wanting to do better, to get better, to find their mission and purpose, which is your overall soul purpose. The body dies, but the soul remains. Start listening to the little voice. Start listening to your heart. Heart-centered, heart-forward, not mind-forward, not mind-centered, heart-centered. And when you get this, you'll find the alignment with the passion. You'll find the alignment with the mission. You'll find alignment with the purpose. Isn't that what life is about? Isn't that what no one wants you to have? And of course, in the end, guess what? You'll find the happiness even through difficulties. You'll find the happiness even through the pain. That life is not about having an easy life. Life is not about just eating the best foods. Life is not about driving the best car or having the best house. Life is about overcoming adversity. And when pain and problems come your way, there's nothing more you could ask yourself for than to rise to the occasion and solve the challenges ahead. So that's all I have here at the Baxter Effect Podcast. If you don't mind commenting in the comments below, subscribing in the link above, like, share, comment. It means so much. And until next time, thank you once again for joining the Baxter Effect Podcast. Your host, John Baxter.